Hi, everybody. This is Ryan.
And this is Kyle.
And you are now listening to
The Doctor's Watcher, the aviation enthusiasts podcast about every episode of Doctor Who.
In which we shall fly the friendly skies.
Indeed. I guess the TARDIS, doesn't really fly through the skies. It just kind of, disappears and then flies through, I don't know, the Doctor Who version of subspace or whatever.
Right. I mean, sometimes, I don't know about the older episodes like these ones, but in the newer episodes, sometimes you do see it kind of twirling and flippity flopping across the sky.
Yeah, that's
as if
true.
It's kind of flying. So it sort of flies. It could probably fly through almost anything. Water, space, air, I would guess.
There's a video clip I saw online once that I've seen it a few times and it always makes me laugh. But it shows a pretty windy day and there's a blue porta potty that gets blown away in the wind. And as it gets blown away, they start playing the Doctor Who theme song.
That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Excellent. Oh man, that's perfect. Well, cool. How have you been since we last recorded an episode 2 weeks ago / 5 minutes ago?
I'm doing pretty well. I actually had a pretty cool experience. I guess it was a little while ago now, but this recording has kind of been delayed for various reasons. But I was going to tell you about it. So my partner and I have started following sports in the last several years. And this year in particular, we have been following a WNBA team, the Golden State Valkyries, which is our local Bay Area team. It was their first year. They were a new expansion team this year. So we decided to get season tickets. We went to a bunch of games, but we had a particular game that we actually got to sit on the front row courtside seats for, which was super cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was when you get season tickets, you also get shit discount on merchandise at the team store and various things like that. And one of the perks that we had read about beforehand was that you'd get this cool jacket basically that's founding guard member, right? For being season ticket holder of the first season. You're part of the founding guard, right?
Oh, that's cool.
So we thought that was cool. We, started seeing people wearing these jackets at the games and we're well, what about ours? So she talked to our customer service rep and was hey, what about this founding guard jacket? And it turns out that was only available to people who purchased their season tickets on a particular brand of credit card that sponsors the team or whatever.
Oh.
And we don't have that brand of credit card, so we didn't get the jacket. So she's this all came up when they're hey, do you want to renew your season tickets for next year? She's well, yeah, but it sucked that we didn't get the founding guard jacket. I really wanted that. And the customer service rep is that's right. I understand, that does suck. I'd be upset about that too. And he's I can't get you the jacket because of, I'm sure there are deals and restrictions and whatnot. So you didn't have the credit card, that sucks. I'm sorry I can't get you the jacket, but I do want to help you out and get you what I can get you. And what I can get you is front row tickets to a game. So
Nice.
we're like, hell yeah, we'll take that. But it was going to be like, he told us basically it would be like a last minute thing. Like, we're not going to know in advance, like, which game we get tickets to, because it's just going to depend on like what's available and whatnot. So we went to this game and went to our usual seats, which are like 4 rows from the very top.
Mhm.
And, you know, the game starts, and then she gets a phone call. It's like, hey, I got the front row tickets tonight. Do you want them? And we're like, fuck yeah.
Oh, cool. So you were actually already there.
Uh-huh.
That's so sweet. That's a fun surprise.
Yeah.
Cool. That's fun. That's, you know, like a string of good luck.
Uh-huh. Yeah, totally. I got to touch a ball. It was like,
Oh, cool.
during the halftime warm-ups before the second half, one of the balls like bounced right toward me. I didn't trust myself to like catch it, so I just kind of put my hand up and blocked it. And yeah, one of the Valkyries got it and thanked me. So I was like, oh, cool. Like, I touched a ball and a player talked to me.
Yeah, rad. That's fun.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
So yeah, that's been cool. The Valkyries made it into the playoffs, which is like pretty unprecedented for a new expansion team. I think they like set a bunch of records for like how well expansion teams have done.
Wow.
So
badass.
yeah, they unfortunately did not make it through the first round of the playoffs, but we did get to go to a playoff game, which was a lot of fun. And yeah, the crowd has been like super cool and supportive all season long. They actually sold out like every single home game of the season, which is really cool.
Yeah, rad.
And yeah, even at the end of the playoffs game where they lost and were, you know, out of the playoffs, like the crowd still gave them like probably at least a 5-minute standing ovation at the end.
Cool. That's sweet. That sounds like very, like that's the sports experience you want.
Yeah, totally.
Nice.
So what about you? Have you done anything cool or fun or interesting?
Yeah, actually, we kind of had a interesting and cool but odd adventure just the other day. So listeners, it's Saturday today, and this all happened on Thursday. So like a couple days ago. I took half the day off from work because we were going to go to a concert. And it was kind of a weird like lineup. There's 3 bands. The band I wanted to go see was the middle band. They're called Faytooth. It's a 3-piece. I can't really say all female because 2 of them are NBs, but like a 3-piece female and NB doom metal band.
Nice.
They're like super heavy. They call their sound fairy doom because like they do these like really pretty like ethereal sounding like harmonizations, like the 2 singers together, and then like that'll go straight into like, you know, super heavy like screaming, not really screaming, but like half scream, more like metal growl.
Nice.
So like their sound is just awesome. It's really unique, but yet still like pushes all the buttons of a good doom band, you know. I really like them. They're like pretty new. They're up and coming on the scene. Good shit. So I was really excited to see them. But then these other 2 bands that are with them, like did not match at all. Like, the headliner of the tour, this band called Slow Crush, they're like okay or whatever. It's kind of like this post alternative kind of shoegazy stuff. I didn't find it very interesting. And the opening band, NVM, they came actually from our home state, Utah,
Nice.
but they're from St. George, so they're like small town famous or something. And oh my god, so well, I'll describe them in a second. So like rewind. So we met up with my friend Nate, who I call Nate Dog, and we randomly met him at an EDM show like back in like March or something. He just like came up and started talking to us, and like we became friends.
Nice.
And yeah, he's like one of the few people I know here that I can be like, hey, you know, there's a metal show. Do you want to go see it? Hey, there's an EDM show. You want to go see it? Like lots of times he's up for it. So we meet up with him at his bachelor pad. Like he recently moved, but like homeboy doesn't have even a couch or like a table or any chairs. He just had like a bed and like a TV on the ground and like a bunch of video games on the ground. So we grab him and we go to the venue, and we were kind of early. So there's this place near the venue called the Underground, which is pretty cool, actually. Like it is literally underground, and there's like, I think probably at least a mile or two of like corridors down there.
Whoa.
And it's kind of like a mall, or at least it used to be.
That's
and
cool.
then I guess, yeah, it's neat. And like there, I guess during COVID, you know, the whole place pretty much kind of like died, but it used to be pretty vibrant before, and now it's sort of like slowly coming back. But it was still like pretty empty. It felt like we were in a liminal space, because we were like, you know, it's probably like 6:30 in the evening or something down there. You know, if they were going to have people, I imagine it'd probably be a little later, like not during dinner time.
Sure.
So we're like walking through these like, underground corridors, and like almost no one's there. And there was this like random like art sale that we kind of like poked our heads in that was interesting. And on the wall it was written, fuck you for making sense. And like the venue itself was called Mom Said It Was Fine.
Nice.
So that was kind of funny. And then he was like, yeah, I have a buddy who works here. Like he calls up his buddy and he's like, yeah, come follow me. And we like go down this corridor that's like clearly not populated. There's no stores. Like the lights are kind of low. There's some like workers. I don't know quite what they were doing, but they had one of those raising and lowering platform thingies they were
sure.
like rolling around on. And one of those people was his friend. But, you know, we're like going past like little blockades of like do not enter. And so we went from a liminal zone to like even more liminaler zone.
Nice.
And like chatted with these people who were very nice, you know, for a few minutes, and then like left and went to the venue. And so we caught the first band. Like I said, we were pretty early. So we caught the first band's entire set, NVM. And holy shit. They sounded like, if you're as old as we are, you will know who these bands are. They sounded like a cross between Counting Crows and the Goo Goo Dolls. So like, you know,
Wow.
two kind of shitty bands from like the early 2000s, like real soft rock, milquetoast kind of shit. But these guys thought that they were like arena rockers or something. The lead singer kept going, let's go, like in time with the music. And then immediately after, they would play the slowest, most boring ass, like soft adult rock. He kept screaming like, wake the fuck up, Atlanta. And then playing sleepy, slow, dumb music.
That's hilarious.
Oh, it was so cringe. And so like, it was hard to watch it because the music sucked so bad, but it was very amusing. Like how much they wanted to, like he was holding up his guitar and playing it like Van Halen or something, but the thing he was playing did not fit the gesture at all.
Wow.
Like, it was hilarious. Oh yeah, at one point he goes, "We're a small time band doing big band shit." It's like, nah, you're trying to do big band shit, but you ain't doing it, buddy.
Maybe get a little bit bigger.
Yeah, like, play actual good music. It's not a ripoff of Counting Crows and Goo Goo Dolls. But it was really kind of interesting that, like, sometimes I could have pretended like Counting Crows was playing.
Wow.
Or, less so Goo Goo Doll. Like, they sounded just like them. And it was like, we didn't really need this back when the originals were here. But anyway, so they finished. Faytooth came on. It was so fun. It's like these, kind of diminutive people. They're pretty. They're like, long hair, dresses and stuff, and like they start playing, and it's just fucking heavy and rocks, and like probably 30 seconds in, the bass player's already like headbanging and flipping her hair all over the place.
Nice.
They didn't have to, I think they said let's go once quietly, like in between songs. They didn't have to wake anyone the fuck up because they were awake already. Like, that's the trick, guys. You just play good music. Engage people with good music. Easy. It was kind of fun because, like, we all sang happy birthday to one of the singers. Apparently it was her birthday. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and so, like, we're hanging out, we're having fun, we're chatting with Nate Dogg. He's getting drinks. My partner and I don't drink, but, we didn't mind driving. That worked out. So, like, Faytooth gets over. Well, actually, their set was kind of weird because I think they couldn't really hear themselves that well, the singing part, because they were not doing a great job, like, harmonizing with each other. And I felt like they just couldn't really hear themselves that well, because otherwise they would have been able to. But it was still good. Like, I still liked it. So we're taking a little breather. Like, after their set, we kind of like went outside to like get some fresh air. And, we're kind of like chatting, and like Nate wanted to see Slow Crush. So, we were like, sure, whatever, we'll check him out. Even if only for a few songs, then we can decide if we want to stay or like go home or whatever.
Sure.
So we're like, okay, cool. So like we hear them kind of start like hitting the drums to make sure they work, and like a few like guitar tones. And we're like, okay, that sounds like they're getting out there and like getting ready to play. So we go back inside, and we're like standing there waiting. And then this guy comes up to Nate Dogg, random dude that we hadn't seen before. And the guy goes, "Hey, can you come outside with me for a second?" And immediately Nate Dogg's like, okay, and like walks outside with him. And my spidey sense goes off like an alarm immediately.
Yeah, that seems weird.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Who does that? So I watch them leave, and the guy at the back of the dude's shirt says staff. So it's like, oh, is this guy like a bouncer or something? So I followed kind of behind. Guy takes Nate Dogg outside, and right outside the front door is a fucking gaggle of wild hogs, aka Atlanta police.
Oh, jeez.
There's like 4 of them. They like read him his Miranda rights, cuff his ass up, and like cart him away in like 30 seconds.
Wow.
I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Seriously?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, how did they even know it was him? Like, we had to show our IDs to get into the bar, but they didn't even scan it. They just like looked at it. So maybe they scanned his ID at the bar or something like that when he got drinks. Like, why would they need to? We had a little wristband thing already showing. So like, I have no idea even how they knew who he was. Like, he wasn't, as far as I knew, like, he wasn't selling any drugs. Maybe he like bought some drugs from an undercover cop, like in the bathroom or something when we weren't there. I don't know. But like, I can't imagine that he did anything like violent or whatever, because then the cops would just come, snap him up, kick his ass, and like drag him off,
Right,
like,
probably
without
like
fucking around
on the floor of the venue.
Exactly, yeah, in front of everyone. So like, I asked the door girl lady if she knew what was up, and she was like, I don't know. And she like went and talked to the bouncers and came back, and she was like, I guess he had warrants. I was like, how did they even know who he was? And she was like, I don't know. Like, I almost feel like maybe it was like a surveillance thing, facial recognition or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's wild.
Yeah. So like they dragged him off. They didn't even have to drag. He just like walked with, smart, I guess, didn't put up any resistance, but
yeah.
So yeah, like I texted him like, hey, hit me up when you can. Like, hope everything's okay. Haven't heard back from him since though.
Dang.
Like maybe he's still in jail. I don't know. But yeah, needless to say, after that, we decided not to watch Slow Crush and we just went home. Yeah, so that was fucking weird. Like,
yeah,
really weird. Very Gestapo feeling kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Fucking hashtag free Nate Dogg.
Yeah, right. So, maybe he just like had a court date and like skipped out on it, or maybe he's got like really bad parking tickets unpaid. Or, who knows? Like, I have no idea like, what that guy gets into. We didn't know him that well, like, but he seems totally normal, like totally nice, like pretty chill dude. But yeah, I guess you never really know.
Yeah, seriously.
So yeah, hashtag free Nate Dogg. Hopefully we find out what happens to him and also why he was sent to jail, presumably. If so, perhaps I'll update here, but yeah, I don't know.
Wild.
Yeah. It was so surreal. Yeah, like from the liminal space to the wannabe arena rockers to Nate getting snapped. It's just very weird. Very, very weird.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, in order to transition into our next segment, I actually have 2 jokes.
Nice.
So the first one is, I actually told this one to Nate Dogg's friends in the liminal space. So I started going to therapy so that I could cure my addiction to saying that's what she said all the time.
Mm-hmm.
On day 1, the therapist told me the road to recovery is going to be long and hard.
Nice. That's a good one.
And the other joke is, why is it usually good to fart?
Good for your heart.
It just makes sense.
Nice. Well,
yeah, it is good to your heart. Too far.
Does it make sense to talk about Doctor Who?
Well, I just farted, so it must.
Nice. This is episode 2 of the Faceless Ones and episode 32 of season 4. So this episode, I just continued with the animated version on the BBC YouTube channel. I actually found out when I was looking into this episode that the previous episode apparently does actually exist. This one's missing, but episode 1 exists. But I didn't really realize that at the time. I just watched the animated version anyway. Do you remember what our cliffhanger was in the previous episode?
Yeah, the cliffhanger was that there are many cliffhangers. Like Ben went off at the airport and we don't know where he went or what his deal is. Polly saw a murder and then later presumably got snatched and messed with, and now she's reacting to the doctor and Jamie as if she doesn't know them, saying her name's not Polly. We've got a weird mystery going on having to do with postcards and airline flights that we don't really know much about. And we also, the perpetrators of that mystery also are carting around some sort of strange bandaged reptile alien type of dude through the airport, apparently. I think that was all of the... Oh yeah, and the other dangler is, are the doctor and Jamie going to get arrested for, like, not having ID and just being generally suspicious?
Yeah, like they are pretty suspicious. Like, I don't necessarily fault the airport commandant for that.
Yeah, true, for sure.
So we pick up with the scene at the end of the previous episode of the two Chameleon Tours murder pilots escorting the reptile alien into the airport medical center. And we then look over and see that there is an airport employee who's like unconscious on the other exam table in the medical center that the reptilian is not sitting on. We don't really know like why they're there yet or anything. And we don't really get to find out yet because we cut over to Polly, who is still insisting that she's never met the doctor or Jamie, and that her name is
Michelle Lopi from Zurich.
That's kind of a cute name.
She says that she's in England to work, and she shows the airport commandant her passport and her work permit, and like he accepts it, so presumably it says Michelle Lopi from Zurich on it. The doctor is not really sure if he should believe her or like what's going on or whatever.
Where did you learn such excellent English?
I had an English governess. Would you mind telling me what's happening?
Nothing that need concern you, miss. Everything's perfectly in order. Now, if you'd just like to go through there.
Thank you.
So she leaves. The commandant tells the doctor and Jamie that they need to wait here until the superintendent of police arrives. And the doctor's like, oh, cool. Like, you're going to tell him about the dead body, right? And the commandant's like,
no, I'm going to tell him about you.
The doctor kind of leans over to Jamie and whispers to him, like telling him to get ready to GTFO, basically. And then, like, while the commandant is on the phone, telling the police superintendent that he's got some illegal entrants for him, the doctor shouts, and the commandant on the phone is like,
Situation changed. They've just made a run for it. I'll give you their description.
He doesn't even like get up or try to catch them. Nice.
It's just like, all right, whatever. It's fucking your problem now, airport cop. Back in the airport medical center, a nurse lady shows up and she gets into a cupboard and gets a couple of armbands out of it. We get a look at these armbands and, you know, it's just like your typical, like, sort of elastic band to go around an arm, but it has, like, control mechanisms mounted on it. It looks like, you know, a little, maybe kind of a D-pad and, like, a little dial and, like, a couple of buttons and shit that are, you know, on this, like, sort of black box mounted on the armband. So she hands these armbands to Captain Blade and the other murder pilot, whose name is Spencer, and they put the armbands onto, one of them onto this reptilian alien, and the other one onto the unconscious airport employee, whose name we learn is Meadows, and Meadows works in air traffic control. So they each get armbands. The nurse also puts headsets onto each of them, and then goes and flips some switches and turns a device on, and sci-fi noises start happening, and Meadows' unconscious body starts to twitch, and the reptilian alien's body starts to anamorph into Meadows.
Oh.
We cut briefly to Ben. He's hiding in a photo kiosk, one of those little booths that you put some money in and then it takes 4 pictures of you and prints them out.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got the curtain pulled close. He's hiding in there. He sees some cops walk past, and then we cut to these cops walking past Jamie and the doctor, who are just sitting on a bench in the airport. They each have a large newspaper that they've opened up and are holding in front of their face, basically. Jamie's holding his newspaper upside down. I guess he didn't roll as well as the doctor on his stealth check.
Right. Well, it's not written in Gaelic, so how can you know?
Uh-huh. The airport cops, though, they've got really low passive perceptions, so this newspaper disguise totally works. They just stroll right on past them and don't notice at all. Jamie complains to the doctor a little bit about Polly pretending to not know them, but the doctor kind of tells Jamie that he's not actually sure that it was Polly. Maybe it's legitimately not her or whatever. He sees an ad in the newspaper for chameleon tours. It's that's the hangar we've been investigating. It is advertising budget tours for young people. The doctor asks Jamie if he knows what a chameleon is.
It's just a name, I suppose.
It's the name of a small animal, a lizard, that can change its color to merge with its background. But it's a name that could equally be applied to people as well. People who change their personalities to suit their own ends. Budget tours young people between the ages of 18 and 25. Oh yes, there's something strange going on here.
Indeed. Also, you'd think the doctor would know that that's not true about chameleons. They change based on their emotion.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway.
Just then, Ben shows up. DM's you guys have been separated for a while, and Ben, you're not really doing anything, right? So you walk past the doctor and Jamie.
Right, was he late to the session or something?
Uh-huh.
I'm on my way, guys. Start without me.
He's glad to see them. It's been a while, a whole episode basically since they've seen each other. But he does wonder where Polly is. And the doctor's just
we can't talk here. We've got to find somewhere to hide. Something about passports.
And they start walking. We cut back to the medical center where the reptilian alien has finished anamorphing into Meadows. Captain Blade and the nurse lady cover Meadows' actual with a sheet, and then they go and wake up fake alien Meadows. They show him an eye chart and ask him to read it. and he can't.
Interesting.
So Blade turns the little dial on Alien Meadows' armband, and then he can speak normally, and he reads the eye chart correctly. The nurse hands Meadows, like actual Meadows' personnel file, over to Blade, who starts asking Alien Meadows about who he is and where he lives, and like seems to get the correct answers. The doctor and Ben and Jamie are all heading down the airport concourse, and Ben sees Polly or Michelle, who is actually working at the Chameleon Tours kiosk. She's, I guess being like Chameleon Tours receptionist, basically. The doctor goes up to her and addresses her as Polly, and she's just like,
Please go away.
But he keeps asking her about what she saw in the hangar, and, telling her that she said that she saw the man who did it.
I didn't see anything. I think you're mad. If I'd seen anyone shot, I'd have gone to the police.
Anyone shot?
I mean murdered.
I didn't say anyone was shot or murdered, Polly.
Look, please, will you just leave me alone?
Suspicious.
Yeah, so she seems to know things that he has not told her, so maybe it is Polly. It's really unclear at this point.
Yeah.
But he relents, he stops questioning her, and he heads back to Ben and Jamie and tells them that he intends to find out what happened. And meanwhile, Captain Blade has apparently been watching this whole thing play out on his surveillance screen in the secret back room. So he calls Polly or Michelle back into the offices and tells her that he's going to make arrangements to send her back to the base on the next flight. She's pretty concerned about the doctor, though.
What about that man? He's very persistent.
Don't worry about him. We have ways of dealing with such people.
The listener must relax and believe. Everything on the podcast is good and beautiful. You must accept it without question. When you are done listening to this episode, you will leave a rating and review of it on the podcast platform of your choice, and you will tell your friends about the podcast. You will be glad to obey. You will question nothing on the podcast. And now, back to the show. Up in the air traffic control room, Alien Meadows shows up. Of course, actual Meadows works here in air traffic control, so it's not unusual for him to show up there. And he taps one of the on-duty controllers on the shoulder. That person takes off their headset and gets up from the seat. They're going to go on break now and let Alien Meadows take over. Meanwhile, Benedict Cumberbatch's mom, who also works here in air traffic control, is being questioned by a new character that we haven't seen before, Detective Inspector Crossland. He's actually not the police superintendent that the Commandant had called about the doctor and Jamie. He is an entirely different dude who is supposed to be meeting his colleague, Detective Inspector Gascoigne, here, but Gascoigne didn't show up to the meeting. Of course, that's because Gascoigne was murdered in the previous episode.
Right. He got ray gunned.
Right. Crossland says that Gascoigne was here to investigate a missing person report, and that Crossland himself is here specifically to investigate chameleon tours. Ben and Jamie and the doctor, meanwhile, all crowd into the photo kiosk that Ben was hiding in earlier. I guess, Ben took them there as like a good place to hide and talk.
Seems like there's better spots, but okay, that's pretty good. If cramped.
The doctor is still wondering what happened to Polly. He thinks that chameleon tours wouldn't have had enough time to actually like brainwash her. So there must be something else going on. He's going to go try to convince the airport commandant that there's a murderer at the airport. And so he's going to send Jamie to the chameleon tours kiosk to basically just like keep an eye on Polly or Michelle working the counter. So Jamie goes and he sits on a bench near the kiosk. He's pretending to read the newspaper again when this woman from Liverpool named Samantha Briggs approaches, I guess I'll call her Paul Shell, at the desk and basically starts asking about her brother Brian Briggs. Brian apparently went on a chameleon tour to Rome, but when Samantha tried to call his hotel, the operator told her that there was no such hotel. Like, it's just the name of a hotel that doesn't exist in Rome or whatever.
Wow.
So that's weird. Samantha got in touch with the police and, they did some investigating and told her that Brian is not staying at any hotel in Rome. But Samantha received a Rome postcard from him, which was posted in Rome. Paul Shell is like,
Yes, that does seem odd, doesn't it? Would you like me to make some inquiries for you?
Well, what do you think I've come all the way down from Liverpool for?
Fair enough.
So Paul Shell heads to the chameleon back room, and Samantha sits down on the bench next to Jamie. Jamie tells her that he couldn't help but overhear her conversation, and that he might be able to help, and he wants her to meet a friend of his later.
I'm sure he'll know what's best.
Benedict Cumberbatch's mom takes the doctor into the airport commandant's office, and the commandant just immediately gets on the phone and calls the airport cops to come arrest him. He just completely refuses to listen to what the doctor has to say.
Since I'm obviously about to be arrested, may I make one last request? Listen to me for just 1 minute.
Not for 1 second. I've heard all I want to hear about burnt fibers, ray guns, disappearing bodies.
Oh, brutal.
But the doctor happens to mention chameleon tours, and Benedict Cumberbatch's mom is like, oh, that detective dude who was here a few minutes ago was looking into them. But before she can really go further into this, the airport cops arrive, and, they're going to go grab the doctor, but he pulls an item out of his pocket, shouting,
"One step nearer and I'll blow you all to smithereens!"
Catch.
and he throws this item at the commandant. And the commandant catches what basically looks like a stress ball, like one of those things that you squeeze to exercise your hand.
Nice.
But the doctor has used everyone's collective what the fuck moment to GTFO.
Nice. Listeners, do not try shit like that. At a modern airport, you will be arrested.
It definitely will not go well for you.
Yes. Even if it is just a stress ball shaped like a boob. Or something.
Yeah, it's really funny, like, the differences in airport culture in, like, today versus the 1960s. Like,
yeah.
They're just kind of like strolling around. You can like, casually flash your ID at the passport control desk and they're just like, all right, cool, you're good. I'm sure there are people like smoking everywhere. Right. You can toss a stress ball at the commandant, implying that it's a grenade and like, it's fine.
Yeah, right. And now it's like you're traveling from, Tel Aviv into Gaza or something with all the damn checkpoints and
seriously
security scans and yada yada.
Back in the Chameleon back office, Paul Shell is FaceTiming with Captain Blade, and we only see the end of the conversation. So he's telling her to go tell the lady what he told her to tell her, and then to close the kiosk down and get on the next flight. So she goes back out. She tells Samantha that her brother Brian did get on the flight to Rome, but they don't know what he did after he got off the flight.
Miss Briggs, we're dealing with thousands of passengers every week. We can't keep track of every single one. If I were you, I'd go back to Liverpool. I'm sure your brother will turn up eventually. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to close this kiosk.
So Samantha's just like,
thanks for nothing.
And then tells Jamie that she thinks something funny is going on because Chameleon Tours clearly doesn't actually give a shit about her brother's disappearance.
Right. Yeah, that was one hell of a brush off.
Ben sneaks into the Chameleon hangar. DM's like, all right, give me an investigation check. Ben's like, 20. So the DM's like, cool, you use a crowbar to pry open this wooden shipping crate, and inside of it, you find Polly's catatonic body.
Oh, interesting.
So he runs back to the Chameleon office and picks up the phone.
Hello. What's the name of the man who's in charge of this airport? The Commandant? Right, well, look, can you put me through to his office, please? All right, then, air traffic control. But I want to speak to a friend of mine who should be with the Commandant right now.
I thought it was kind of interesting because it sort of implies that the Commandant's actual name is the Commandant.
Yeah, right. And also you can just kind of like call different parts of the airport randomly and being like, hey, I want to chat with someone, not actually the Commandant, but my buddy's with him and I want to chat with my buddy. So like, put me through now. And they just do it.
So the doctor shows up at the Chameleon kiosk. Jamie starts to try to introduce the doctor to Samantha, but the doctor just kind of like blows him off and heads into the kiosk looking for Polly. He does a brief search of the office and he finds a bunch of blank, not filled out yet postcards from various different countries, and also finds sheets of postage stamps also from various different countries. He sees a TV monitor on the desk, which he turns on, and it's like the surveillance monitor, basically. It shows Ben in the hangar office talking on the phone. Ben is asking the Commandant why he wouldn't listen to the doctor. But then Captain Spencer sneaks up behind Ben and uses this handheld device on him. It looks like maybe like a thick pen or a marker or something. He uses this device on Ben, which basically causes Ben's body to go go stiff or rigid in its current position. He just kind of like freezes up. Captain Spencer goes into the secret back room where he sees the doctor on the surveillance monitor. The doctor is shouting at the surveillance monitor on his end, asking Ben if he can hear him. Captain Blade then shows up and points out to Captain Spencer that the doctor probably saw what happened to Ben, which means probably he'll come investigate, so they need to be ready for him, and they also need to dispose of Ben's body. Meanwhile, Detective Inspector Crossland is questioning the guy working at the immigration desk, Jenkins. Jenkins is the one who first was asking for the doctor and Jamie's passports.
Okay.
Crossland shows Jenkins a photo of Samantha's brother, of Brian Briggs, but Jenkins doesn't specifically remember him, which, he sees probably thousands of people a day, so that's not a big surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But when Crossland shows him a photo of Detective Inspector Gascoigne, he does remember him, but he can't remember exactly when he saw Gascoigne. He tells Crossland that it may have been during the whole bother that happened at the airport this morning.
Now, what sort of bother? 2 people without passports who told some story about a body in a hangar. Well, what happened? It was all a hoax. These 2 men, they ran away. The airport police are still looking for them.
So Crossland asks him for a description.
One was a scruffy-looking man, medium height, wearing a frock coat. The other was a Scots boy, dressed in a kilt. Well, it shouldn't be too hard to arrange.
True. With those clothes.
Uh-huh. Samantha asks Jamie if they should go after his friend. It's apparently been about 10 minutes. But Jamie says that the doctor said to give him half an hour. Which, totally didn't actually happen. The doctor just kind of brushed Jamie off and headed into the office, but whatever, Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give him half an hour. Samantha calls the doctor a right weirdy. And Jamie's well, I actually wish that I was as smart or whatever as he is. And Samantha's
you're all right as you are.
And scoots a little bit closer to him on the bench.
Oh.
And phones start ringing off the hook at the nearest shipwright's office, and they start taking orders to begin construction on the HMS Jamantha. A loudspeaker announcement happens, and it says that passengers for the Chameleon Tour's flight to Zurich are to assemble in the departure lounge. And this woman who is not Paul Shell arrives and reopens the Chameleon Tour's kiosk. The doctor is still in the Chameleon Tour's back rooms and offices and whatnot. He's continuing his investigation, but he rolls a 5. DM's well, the device that Captain Spencer used on Ben is just fully out in the open, laying on the desk, so you find that. But when you look in the direction that you saw Ben leave the room, Ben and Captain Spencer leave the room, on the video monitor, you only see the wall and like shelves with oil cans and shit on them. We cut back out to the main concourse where Samantha and Jamie are watching as the Chameleon Tours lady explains to the assembled group of passengers that they will surely want to write a postcard to their parents as soon as they arrive in Zurich. But just in case they don't have time for that, Chameleon Tours is providing them all with Zurich postcards now, so they can write them like here in the airport, and then Chameleon will put them in the mail for them when they arrive in Zurich.
Clever.
Samantha goes and borrows a postcard from one of these passengers and shows Jamie that it's all ready to mail. It even has a Swiss postage stamp on it and everything. And Jamie's just like, yeah, so?
You're a right one, aren't you? Don't you see, this could explain the card I got from Brian. It was posted in Rome, but that doesn't mean to say that he posted it.
She's doing more sleuthing than him. Nice.
Jamie decides that probably they should tell the doctor, and he asks Samantha how long the doctor has been gone, and she's like, oh, like totally, it's been a half hour now, like for sure, half an hour, yeah, totally. Jamie's like,
right, I'll go and find him.
I'll come with you.
But Detective Inspector Crossland has arrived on the scene. He spots Jamie in his Scots clothing and kilt and wants a word with him. The doctor heads into the Chameleon Tours hangar, and he sees a shipping crate, so he grabs a crowbar and starts prying it open. The DM's like, dude, quit metagaming. You wouldn't know that Ben found Polly's catatonic body in a shipping crate. And the doctor's like, no, like, I'm not metagaming. This is actually what my character would do in this situation. And the DM's like, all right, fine, whatever. You pry it open and you find the catatonic body of Meadows, the air traffic controller dude. But you also hear Captain Spencer's voice over the loudspeaker.
Somebody help me, please. I'm suffocating. Quickly. Somebody help me, please. I'm suffocating.
So the doctor rushes into the hangar office to try to help Captain Spencer. But as soon as he's in there, this panel slides down, blocking the door. So he's now trapped in there. And then a small panel on the wall slides open, revealing like some kind of nozzle, which starts spewing a vapor into the room. The doctor becomes very cold. He like falls to his knees and he's shivering, and the music plays and the words on the screen say Doctor Who Patrick Troughton.
Oh boy. Well, that's cool. We got some definite, like, chewy morsels in this weird mystery. We still don't know quite what's going on, but I think we can, like, make a few, surmise a few things, like, the Chameleon Tours really is more about, it's kind of that thing where, like, the bad guy names his, front business after the exact bad thing he's doing. Like, clearly they're, kind of kidnapping people and then, like, using their sci-fi bleep bloop device to turn the aliens like take the people's identities or whatever and inject it somehow into these aliens.
Right. Yeah, they're
and
like
they're the chameleon and they get to go do the tour.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of a cool little setup.
Yeah, like what's behind it all and like what are they up to? I guess we still don't really know, but yeah, that's a cool, kind of interesting situation.
Uh-huh. What they are clearly not up to is taking young people on tourist trips to Zurich and Rome.
Right. Which sounds like a kick-ass trip, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, probably
either
would
one
be.
of those. But yeah, so that's cool. Also, Doctor, one thing to note is that probably like if someone's yelling near a microphone, I bet they're not actually suffocating. I mean, they could be. It's, not impossible, but unlikely. Like if someone's able to yell about something, I doubt they're suffocating.
Yeah, that's fair. And like the timing, like his investigation was pretty well interrupted and cut short.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. And that's, he knew that they were kind of like gunning for him or trying to, stop him or frustrate his efforts and whatever.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it does seem a little bit short-sighted on the Doctor for going to check out Captain Spencer.
Right. But, he's probably playing 3D chess with us or whatever. As soon as he gets out of the situation with the vapors, he'll be like, yeah, I meant to do that because now I'm captured by the bad guys and they're the ones I wanted to talk to.
Yeah, totally.
Well, that was a very good episode, all in all. Any more notes on that one?
No, I didn't really have anything to note on this one. Yeah, just that it was a fun watch. Yeah, I mentioned earlier the animation on the BBC's one of their YouTube channels, and that has definitely been pretty interesting. Like our previous animations, it's not like super high quality, but it's very watchable, pretty fun.
Cool. Well, awesome. Thanks for describing how this episode plays out.
For sure. And thanks for listening to it all, in spite of my terrible, not even really Liverpool accents that our listeners probably won't hear because I'll replace them all with actual clips.
Right. Yep. Sorry, listeners, you don't get to have the fun that I had of Kyle attempting the Liverpudlian accent. All right. Well, yeah, if anyone really does want to hear Kyle's accent attempts, you could probably email us or Blue Sky us the request, and maybe we will consider it. Otherwise, tell your friends and family and leave a 5-star review or a 10-star if that's the scale of your podcasting application. Indeed.
Just write your review down on this postcard that we have all ready for you. It's all stamped and everything. All you need to do is write your review down, and then we'll mail it for you once we get to Zurich.
Yeah, perfect. In fact, even if you want to, you can leave the postcard blank and we'll fill it in for you. We'll do the review for you.
Totally.
Yeah, that's no problem at all. Cool. Well, this will be interesting to see what happens next time around on the Doctor's Watcher.
Indeed. And if you would like to join us, listeners, next time around and find out what happens on the flight to Zurich, then come back in 2 weeks.
All right. See you then, listeners.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes, have you found anything?
Well, yes, I have, but I'm afraid it doesn't help very much. Your brother definitely did get on our flight to Rome, but what he did when he got off the plane, I couldn't tell you.
Well, if you can't, who can?
Miss Briggs, we're dealing with thousands of passengers every week. We can't keep track of every single one. If I were you, I'd go back to Liverpool. I'm sure your brother will turn up eventually. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to close this kiosk.
Thanks for nothing. There's something funny going on here.
Why?
My brother's vanished, and that lot just couldn't care less.